When the Roman legions reached the shores of Britain in 43 AD, Celtic tribes were living on the island. The Romans founded new cities, built roads, and even established a trading center they called Londinium. But as the Roman Empire began to collapse, Britain too was sinking into darkness. Later, new peoples from the north, the Anglo-Saxons, began to settle on the island. The name England actually comes from these people, Angle land, meaning land of the Angles. And then came the year 1066, the year when everything changed in English history. William, Duke of Normandy, invaded England and defeated King Harold at the Battle of Hastings. There was now a new king, William the Conqueror. The Normans had not only conquered England, they were reshaping it. French became the language of the royal court, and English was completely transformed. Even the blood of the nobles had become Normanized. Words we still use today, like government, court, and army, still carry the traces of that era. And medieval England was filled with power struggles between kings. In 1215, under pressure from his people, King John signed the first constitutional document in history, the Magna Carta. This document declared that even a king could not hold unlimited power. Centuries later, this idea would evolve into democracy. England was growing, but even so, the battles for the throne never ended. During the height of Wars of the Roses, two dynasties, York and Lancaster, fought a civil war that lasted for 30 years. The victors were a new dynasty, and their name was the Tudors. And now we come to Henry VIII, who became one of the most controversial rulers in English history. Because of a divorce, he broke away from the Catholic Church and made England Protestant. He had 6 wives, and 2 of them met their end on the scaffold. Among the people, a saying went, divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. Henry's daughter, Elizabeth I, would go on to lead England into a true golden age. The plays of Shakespeare, the voyages of explorers, and the legendary victory against the Spanish Armada all marked the glory of her reign. And now we come to the industrial age, the age of steam, iron, and coal. Beginning in the late 18th century, the Industrial Revolution in England changed the course of human history forever. As factories rose, millions of people began to move from the countryside to the cities. The world's first railway ticket was sold in 1830, from Marsh, Liverpool, Chaw, to Manchester. England was no longer just an island. It had become the engine of the world, and by the mid-19th century, the British Empire ruled over 1/4 of the world. Its territory stretched so vast that from India to Canada, from Australia to Africa, the British flag waved everywhere. And that's why people used to say, the empire on which the sun never sets. Because truly, at any given moment, it was daylight somewhere on British soil. And when World War II began, England stood alone. Nazi Germany had swallowed almost all of Europe, but Winston Churchill addressed his people with these words, "We shall never surrender." England resisted and won. From that day on, British determination became one of the great symbols of world history. And though the empire fell apart, England's influence never ended. Science, literature, music, and cinema, from Shakespeare's pen to the us Beatles' guitars, from Newton's apple tree to Harry Potter's magical world, this island continues to be one of the world's greatest sources of inspiration. The history of England was never just a tale of kings or battles. It is the story of ideas, faith, and the human spirit. Even after centuries have passed, the voice of this island still echoes in science, art, music, and in our languages. This is England, the nation that shapes the future with the power of its past.